Love is like air on Mars. What's going on, people? Welcome to the show. This is the Don't Read My Mind podcast, and I am your host, Lenny Reed. This is episode 26. I want to thank y'all for chiming in, listening to the show, and I really appreciate it. And we just going to go into something that everybody deals with. I dealt with it, in my early years. I sort of got king to it, or I sort of figured it out, and I start to use it in my advantage early on. So it's just something that we all trying to get a hold of. And I'm gonna just run through a couple things in my past that made me figure out when it's two people in love, somebody is more controlled than the other person, right? Somebody has the upper hand, and it's mainly the person that initiated the relationship. Because I don't think that a relationship is initiated 50-50. I think somebody comes to the forefront and sort of say, listen, I think we should take it to the next step. You get rid of your friends, I get rid of my friends. It's somebody that's doing that. I doubt y'all come together on that. So I think that person would be the controller, so that person will have more feelings for the other person. Now, for the other person to comply, they have to have feelings also, or they can use that person for housing, transportation, or just other things that will control that situation. But this is how I figured it out. Back in the day, with me, I can talk to a young lady on the phone for hours. Before we even spent time together, that's how I got her, on the phone. So, for a woman to open up to you, she have to feel comfortable around you. And me coming up, my thing was always, if a young lady came over to my house, she's first, over there, off, not really sitting close to you. But let me tell you something. When she kick off those shoes, right, and relax, and sit in your bed and watch TV, oh man, it's over, son. Anyway, but early on, I knew that it was something going on. It was something different. Well, it all started. I probably in elementary school, right, and it'd be a girl in your class, right? And everything about this young lady, you just all in. You try to write letters, you try to sit by her in the lunch, you all in. Now, every time you see her, or if she talk to you or something like that, any interaction with you will cause butterflies in your stomach. Now, coming up, you would think, what is this fucking feeling? Every time this chick come around that I'm feeling. That is a form of love. Well, the early signs of love. Right? So, I would notice that when I go home or on the weekends, all of that went away. Out of sight, out of mind. And that was the thing coming up. It was like out of sight, out of mind. Once I go on the weekend, I'm playing. I don't even remember. I forget everything about this young lady, right? Monday morning, I'm back at it. I'm glaring at her. trying to send notes that probably get intercepted halfway and thrown back at me or something like that. So I'm trying to figure out what this is. Fast forward, as I got older and everything came together, right? And it will feel different. That feeling start to last once you go home, even on the weekends. Now there's a calling ability. It wasn't really that for me in elementary school, the calling ability, right? At a certain age, I was able to call this person, or she called me, and we was able to stay on the phone for hours. This is a different kind of love here. Now you got to control it right, because I think the person that's less in love can control the relationship. Let me repeat that. This is just my experience, guys. So, alright, yeah. The person that's less in love would control the relationship. And you say, why? Okay. Point of fact. Let's take me for instance, right? Just say if I want to go somewhere, right? And just say I'm in love. Higher. My love is stronger than a girlfriend or a wife, right? Babe, I want to go on a cruise to, Mexico, this, and that. Because you want to spend time with her, right? Because you love her. But she can control that situation. Well, I don't want to go this time of the month. And maybe why Mexico? Why we can't go to the Dominican Republic or this, and that? And instead of staying stern, your main focus is to make her happy. So she can control situations. She can control the directions of things. Now, most women would notice that. And that's where the form of manipulation come in. It's another thing you got to watch out for. Sometimes you need to test that love. You gotta throw out something and see if you get something back. So that was my experiences coming up. And I had them in a bag, but I noticed something. If the phone clicked, or she'd be like, yo, I'll call you back. All right, bet. I'll call you back in an hour. All right, cool. You go watch TV. Hour pass, you like, damn, why she ain't call me back yet? 2 hours pass. Damn. 3 hours pass. Now every time the phone ring, because back in the day you had probably like the one line, right? The one line, you had a phone upstairs, a phone downstairs. Phone ring, you just waiting for your name to be called. Nah. She didn't call back. So now you bugging out. Now you feeling weird. Now you all these emotions coming up. Now you angry in there. What's wrong? Did something happen to her? And once that happened, I knew, and this don't be crazy, but I knew at that point that I needed more than one girlfriend. I know you like, yo, this. Think about it. If she say, I hit you back. All right, cool. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bang. You hang up, you call your number 2. Right? This is not grown-up shit. This is kid shit, all right? You call your number 2. Now, your thought on her went away. Your whole thought about her, she don't call me back on time, this, and that all went away. Now, you talking to the other girl, and you sit there, you having a good conversation, and then the phone beeps. Boop, boop. Right? Phone beeps. So you know somebody on the other line. So when you get to the other line and you notice it's her, now you have to decide who is more important, the one you got on the other line or her. So at that point, you control the situation. I'm not saying you do this in a grown-up field, mess around different people, but coming up, that was a way that I can control how I felt, or how I felt about a girl can control me. Get what I'm saying? And at that point, I knew I had control. Even though I'm talking to a few girls on the phone, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing crazy. I just never let a girl take over my mind like that. You know what I'm saying? Because think about this. If you have a young lady or whatever, right? And she all you got, and y'all talk on the phone hours, right? Some way, somehow, she could control the situation. Because now when y'all not, if she don't call you back, now you feeling weird. But if you had other women, girls to talk to at this point in time, everything goes hand to hand, and then the other one call you, be like, oh, next thing you know, you got all these girls calling at the same time. So that was the way, I worked it out when I was coming up. But the topic of the story is basically, is love blind? Is love real? Okay? Forget what I just said about blind. Is love real? Now, one thing I do notice about this is as you get older, you sort of settle down in your ways, settle down in different things you do. And I think love gets stronger as you get older. So, you was running around, you had a girl, you doing this, and that. When you're younger, you still moving, you doing different things. You love her, but your actions ain't there. And I think as you get older, it sort of flips. Your actions is more there. And when you do something, it's more with her. Places different, hey, you want to rob me, babe? This, and that, Now, what makes people fall in love with somebody? Always, I would say looks is probably the first one, but I can't say that. I think the personality, I would say personality, because before you even see somebody, if you like their personality, and the way they talk, the way they, just counteract everything that you do, you fall in love with that person off their personality. So, if you fall in love with the person off just talking, and you go see them, and they not to your, they not looking like you think they should be looking. Now you basically fuck. But if you can take that sight thing out of the situation, it's probably better. But some people that probably got caught up in that before, they like to see the person first, right? They like to, it's usually a height thing, a weight thing, complexion thing, a teeth thing. It's just a whole list that people go down. Now, you got some people that just flip it, like sex was the first part. One night stand. You meet somebody in the club. Somehow y'all go back to hotel or whatever, your house or whatever like that, and sex happens. That is the initial. So it's probably was a sight thing with that, but the personality part wasn't there. The sex part was there. So, does that happen a lot? Yeah, it probably does. It probably happens with sight, sex, everything right in the first section. Then you get to know this person and the personality falls into place. But I think that won't last. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. That is basically a form of physical. And to me, I think the quickest way to love and the strongest way to love is mental. So, sex on the first date or one night stand, something like that, that's based off the physical. Something you see right there on sight. But I think it starts with the personality first. If both personalities clashing back and forth, they not clashing, but they connecting. It's like back and forth. Everything is smooth. That 3 hour conversation, it's just gonna go that quick. It ain't gonna be no breaks, no dead air. Just back and forth. That's the strongest bond. Now, If you shallow and shit, then you see the person, you don't like the height, you don't like the size and all of that. It's up to you. That's your thing. That's something you got to deal with. You know? But I also think that everything sort of depends on the person. You got people that's out there looking for love, like straight looking. It don't work like that. I think you just mind your business, you go about your life, and that shit it will broadside you. It'll just show up. But if you looking, you sort of it's like if you looking, you probably over examining a person. You seeing too many flaws that you blowing up. It's like you making it height, but it ain't even that. But if you just chilling and that shit just broadside you, I think that's the best way it happen. Now, love. I'm trying to think how many times I've been in love. Zero. No, I say about two or three times in my whole life. 2 or 3 times in my whole life. Now, I could tell you the story about I don't know if I said it on this podcast before, but I'm gonna say it again. All right. Now, I'm gonna go off site, just looks. I remember now personality too. So, it was a while. It was the point to I wasn't driving. So my father, I met this girl. I was with my cousin and stuff. She was walking down the street, and I was in the back seat. And I seen her walk, and I said, yo, pull over, pull over, pull over. So, being the asshole I am, I leaned out the window. I said, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Blah, blah, blah. And she looked at me. She gave me that look like, if you don't get the fuck out of my face. But I didn't stop. I got out the car, and I said, I apologize the way I came at you. You're very beautiful. I just want to know if I can get to know you. Listen, do not judge me on that line. I was young, all right? So, she stopped, and I said, can I walk with you? She said, I don't care. Walk with her, blah, 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 got a number. Anyway, started talking to her on the phone. Now, the phone conversation was good. We was laughing back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Now it's time to see her again. Because I think I did enough on the phone. Like I said, I want to do enough time on the phone to the point that you are comfortable with me. Okay? So, I decided, hey, let's go to the movies. Actually, yes, let's go to the movies. That's what I said. Cool. I said, all right, well, I'm going to get a ride over there and pick you up. And then the movies was right around the house, Bloomfield Avenue. Okay? This is in New Jersey. So, picked her up. Pops pulled up. I jumped out the car, went to the door, run the doorbell. She came out looking good, smelling good. She had the gloss on the lips, yeah, all that good stuff. Got in the car, went around to, like I said, Bloomfield Avenue. We went to the Chinese spot first, right? To Chinese spot. Got something to eat, sat in there, talked. Everything wonderful, everything good. Went to the movies. I forgot what we seen. Anyway, after that, called my pops, came to pick us up. Went back around to our house, dropped off, walked her to the door, gave her a kiss on the forehead or the cheek, some corny shit. And I was hooked in. Now I think she was in more control, right? Pretty girl, nice personality. She was in more control than I was. You know what I'm saying? Because if she probably would have called me, like, yo, get a car, just get in, get your father car, just come. I'll probably tuck that shit back to her house. No, and I have a license. Probably didn't know, well, I know how to drive, but you know what I'm saying? She had me hooked. Anyway, after that, came, called her, make sure, yeah, I got home cool, have fun. Yeah, have fun, blah, blah, blah. I think a week later, called her, nothing. A couple days later, called her, nothing. Week after that, called her, nothing. I'm like, yo, what did I do wrong? So now you got to go back your steps and you like, what did I do wrong? But the crazy thing is, I ain't do nothing wrong, right? So I'm like, oh my God. Never called, never spoke to me again. So the more of that story is, she had me, you know, because I went off site when I jumped off the car, when I jumped out the car on her, right? I thought I had her hooked in a little bit with the telephone. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe it wasn't long enough. Maybe if I'd have talked probably a couple months on the phone before jumping to go to the movies, maybe, I don't know. But the more of that story is, even when you think you got something in your bullseye, if if you are the over the top person, the doer, the trying to do everything, I'm not gonna say love because it wasn't love, but it just seemed like I was feeling her more than she was feeling me. So basically, she was controlling that situation. But love, I think love comes in different levels, right? Let me break this down for y'all. Like I said, this is my opinion. So don't hold me to this. Okay, let's break it down. Number one. Okay. Cool with talking, not really living together yet, right? Thinks about each other a lot. Probably spends a lot of time with each other. Not a lot. Usually FaceTime, whatever. In today's time, FaceTime. I would say that's number one, right? Number two, basically lives together. The kind that cuddles and like watch TV and all that shit. Thinks about each other all the time. I mean, like, baby, I love you. I miss you. That's like number two. That's like a high level right there. You know, or that's around about that. What's the other thing we'll put in that level? Drive by your house just to see if you're home, but won't tell you that they drove by their house. You drove by your house. If your phone laid down somewhere, they probably go on your phone. That kind of. That's like I would put that in number two. Like I said, this is just me here. All right, this is my observation. Okay. Number three. Why you didn't call me back? This is number three. Call you 50 times in a row, and leave 50 messages, and leave 50 text messages, and when you call them back, they act like none of that shit happened. That's the number three love right there. Okay? Now, some girls, if you mess around or do something crazy, your shit'll be probably out in the yard. I put that round number one, number two. Okay? Mess your car up, that's around number one, number two, depending on the girl, right? But number three right here, I think the craziest of number three, they will put a fucking knife in your chest and just look at you while your eyes close. So, beware number three. Number one, number two, alright. But I think you could see early signs of a number three. Now, number three ain't the last one. I have a number four, but listen, I am not going to talk about that level. That's a whole nother level. I don't even want to breathe right now. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother level. Believe me. Anyway, now, manipulation is also connected to this. Manipulation through, getting somebody to do something, getting somebody to kill somebody. We seen that on all them ID channels, right? What's the other girl channel? Damn, I forgot that girl channel. Anyway, sex. That's another form of manipulation. So, love have different boundaries that you could be in all at the same time. You can be in one. You can be in a crazy relationship with love purpose in it. You can be in an abusive relationship, and to that in that person's eyes, that's considered love. So it's like a word that has so many meanings, so many directions, right? But when you look at it, when you break it down, is love real? Now, love is something that's not, I would say, is deep inside the subconscious mind, right? You got to think about it now. Does animals love each other? Does bugs and all this other, you got to think, does cows and all this stuff love each other? Or is it just something in our brain that we can't control? Subconscious, you can't control your subconscious. And one thing we know, we can't turn it on and off. You can't be strongly in love with somebody and just turn that shit off. It doesn't work like that. And we all know it's all mental. It's nothing physical that you can touch. Nothing you can put a form on. Now, it could be a form of our consciousness. You know, our ability to think, free will, is probably a part of that. But we never know. So it's one of those things that we think we know it, but we will never know it. Now, the crazy thing about today, in today's time, you know, I would look at it as something that love is something that's slow burn, right? Something that you can bake and turn it on low, and you just keep heating it up. Just keep heating it up till it's peak. Today's time, slide that shit in the microwave. Put that motherfucker on 2 minutes. Beep, beep, done. So that's why it's probably more crazy or harder to fall in love in today's time and before all this technology increase, right? So it's just something you got to think about. It's just something you got to really keep your eye on, because it's also deadly. You know, I'm not talking about family love. I'm talking about love that make you do stupid shit. Okay? Family love don't make you. All that other love makes you do crazy shit. So, all you got to do is be strong-minded, be strong-willed, and hopefully have a successful life. But I do know this. True love is love given, not receiving. All right, peoples. I am out of here. This is my time. Thank you for listening. This is the Don't Read My Mind podcast, and I'm your host, Lenny Reed. I appreciate the love, everybody. Anyway, once again, this podcast is sponsored by AutoLendDesigns.com. If you don't got an AutoLend shirt on, dog, I don't know what you're doing. All right, go check the clothes out. See if you like something, snatch it. All right, guys, one love. Peace.